Plaintiff, Amy Allen, says 2 months after she started dating the defendant, they moved in together. And 4 months later, she was pregnant. Amy claims 3 days after she found out she was pregnant, she and the defendant got into a fight and he assaulted her. And she's suing him today for child support. Defendant Anthony Peacock says while dating Amy, she confessed that she'd had sex with over 400 men. As a result, Anthony has doubts about being the biological father of her daughter, and therefore he petitioned the court for a paternity test.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
We met back in 2006, December 2006. We got to know each other over the years, worked together, hung out together, had mutual friends. 2013, we decided to try a relationship. 2 months into the relationship, I moved him in. 6 months into the relationship, I ended up pregnant. Super excited about it, all of us, both of us were excited. He went out with his boys, drinking to celebrate. That was fine the first night. Second night, he did the same thing. And the third night, he came in, he was completely drunk. He couldn't get the key in the door. He couldn't open the door. He fell into me as I opened the door for him. And he started kissing on me, touching on me. I said no. He continued to do so. I slapped him in his face. He went to the back bedroom. He came back out a few seconds later saying that I better not do that again. A few hours went by. I was sitting down watching TV, and he decided to run his mouth and stress me out. So I went up to him and I grabbed his chin like a child and I said, "You need to leave me alone. I'm pregnant with your child. You're stressing me out." That's when he decided to put his hands around my neck.
That's not true, but...
So when he did that, I automatically reacted and I caught him in the top of his head with my fist.
Yeah. Okay.
After that, I went ahead and told him he needed to get out, and he got out, but security was rolling around the neighborhood, so he came. I let him come back in. He stayed a few more weeks.
Why?
Huh?
Why'd you let him come back?
Because I didn't want any issues with the police in the neighborhood where I lived. And
What does that have to do with him leaving?
Because I didn't want him to cause a scene outside where I lived.
Oh, you don't think he would have left?
Right. He was sitting in the stairwell of my apartment.
All right, and so you didn't want the police to come and get him, so you let him stay?
No, I just didn't want him to make a scene.
So what happened?
So I let him back in.
That's what I'm saying, because if he made a scene, the police would get him.
Right. Okay, so I let him back in, and he convinced me to let him stay. We worked it out, everything. And my family was a little concerned about his drinking, and I was, because it continued. So I went ahead and kicked him out for the final time, and I put a restraining order on him. Shortly after that...
Why did you have to do that?
For the safety of me and...
Well, no, what did he do?
He put his hands around my neck.
The second time?
No, just the first time.
Quiet, the first time?
Yes.
And you didn't get a restraining order then, you let him back in.
Right.
Sorry, let me hear from you.
Okay, first of all, she was cheating on her boyfriend with me, and which in turn,
Excuse me.
a few months later, she was cheating on her boyfriend again with somebody else and got pregnant.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
And had an abortion. Then, you know, she already told me before she had slept with over 400 men.
She told you she had slept with 400 men.
Over 400 men.
Over 400 men.
Over 400 men.
Okay.
No, she wild now. She a good person, but she wild.
Can I interfere?
Now, I've actually seen her at her sister's wedding actually punch one of her exes in the mouth.
You're wrong.
Okay.
I
Go
didn't
ahead.
punch him. I slapped him, and
Go
I was
ahead.
drunk.
Exactly.
That's enough.
Okay.
That's enough.
Okay, my bad.
Go ahead.
Okay. So that day in question she was talking about, I grabbed her, but I didn't grab her like that. Now, she went to the police station and tried to file a report. Police told her, well, where's the evidence? No, there's no bruises on you or nothing, so we cannot give you a restraining order.
I have the restraining order, Your Honor.
I've never heard about it or seen one. They never gave it to me. So I have no idea how that turned out. I just know she went up there, she told them.
Well, she's going to show me how it turned out. You'll know very quick. She went up there, you don't know how it turned out.
Well, this was
tell you
told
how
to
it
me.
turned out. It turned out with something that says temporary protection order, and it's signed by a judge. That's how it turned out.
Okay.
You understand that now?
Well,
All
I
right.
never got it. I just heard about it.
I know. All
Okay.
right. We have a dispute now as to whether the child is yours. Is that what this is about?
Right.
Because you say she slept with 400 men. She admitted to you. All right. And what did you say? You said, I'm gone, or you said, oh?
I mean,
How did you respond?
I was good until I found out that all her male friends were her exes. So the
All right,
guys
so-
that I seen sitting at the house was some people she already slept
Okay.
with.
Otherwise, the 400 was no problem.
No, it was still
you
a
sleep
problem,
with
but
400 people?
it was still a problem. I didn't know those were the guys that was coming over to the house.
All
Yes, you
400?
did.
No,
You had 400?
It was just a couple guys coming to the house, but I
They
didn't
came
know
as
those
a
guys.
choir. They were a men's choir.
I can have whoever I want.
No, it was the thing of, everybody got a pass, but you don't keep your pass with you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I can
That's
keep
somebody you done
whatever I
slept
want.
with. Let them go somewhere else. Don't let them be at the house. I'm at work. Why are they at the house and I'm at work? Why you at the mall with them and I'm at work?
All right. You want to say anything about the cheating before we get to the child support, ma'am?
Yes, I do. It wasn't 400 people, and the amount of people I sleep with has nothing to do with our relationship. He believed me until his family filled his head with a bunch of crap. What I do in my past before him has nothing to do with him. So it shouldn't even be brought up right now.
You're denying having the men come there at the house where
No.
you are?
No.
You did
I
have
have
men
male
come
friends.
there?
Yes, I
All
have
right.
male friends.
You weren't dating any of them?
No, sir.
And did he ask you about them? Whether
No,
you were...
He knew some of them. We worked together with some.
No, I know that, but did he
Yeah.
ask you whether you were romantically involved? He never asked you that.
No.
Was cheating on her boyfriend with me, and which in turn,
Excuse
a
me.
few months later, she was cheating on her boyfriend again with somebody else and got pregnant.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
And she already told me before she had slept with over 400 men.
She told you she had slept with 400 men.
Over 400 men.
Over 400 men.
Over 400 men.
Plaintiff Amy Allen insists the defendant is her child's father. But the defendant says he has doubts because Amy confessed to having sex with over 400 men. So he petitioned the court for a paternity test.
Now let's get to the child support.
I got pregnant in June.
Of when?
Oh, I'm sorry, June 2013. I didn't find out until I was 5 weeks, which was the end of July. About 4 months into our relationship, we found out that his mother's surgery had to be moved up, so he went to North Carolina to care for her. He was supposed to come back to Maryland and be with us to continue our relationship afterwards, and as time went by, he never came back. I told him a month prior that the doctors are saying, the baby's coming, it's due any day, okay. So I called him and let him know. And then 2 weeks later, I went ahead and said, okay, it's time, you need to get here. You need to find a way to get here so you can see her. Now, originally, I did intend to give the baby his last name, but with him not getting there and being where he needed to be for his responsibilities, there was no reason for me. If I'm gonna care for this baby and I'm the one here, then she needs to have my last name.
Okay, and how'd that work out?
She has my last name. He
Right,
hasn't
but
partaken.
in terms of child support, how'd that work out?
Oh, I asked him for child support from day one.
And why didn't he give it to you?
Because he can't afford to.
Well,
Is that your
I
defense?
was sending her money. Yeah.
Hold on, that's your defense? You can't afford it?
No, I was sending her money. I was sending her money.
All
sending
right,
Naomi
so why
clothes.
didn't you pay it all? She said you didn't pay it all.
Because when I told her to go to social service so we can do a blood test, she didn't want to. When I came February this year up to see her, which I stayed with her, and I bought a DCI test
Well, we're talking
myself.
about whether the child is yours, not no
Exactly. I was-
DVR
no,
or
I
whatever
was-
you're
no.
talking about.
I was bringing the DNA.
I don't care what you were bringing. Is the child yours?
I'm not sure.
And what is this? Is the
This
child?
This is a picture of him and her. That's him. This is her. When they were babies.
Of him and her.
And also, Your Honor,
Is this you at the bottom right? Who is
Yes.
it? Okay.
that's when I had hair.
All right. Do you think the child looks like you?
I think she resembles me, but then again, she could resemble somebody else she was dating too.
Out of 400, there's a good
Hey,
point. Out
okay.
of 400, it's easy odds.
Hey, we can- hey,
That's a good
hey.
point. That's not true though, is it?
No.
You weren't with 400 men and
No.
you never told him that, did you?
No, I wouldn't
But-
need it. I wouldn't need
Can I
child
straighten
support
one
if I
thing out,
was
Your Honor?
that many
Anything
people.
else before we
Yes, sir.
get
Your
the results?
I also have pictures of him passed out drunk on my couch after being with his daughter. I'm sorry, what?
All right, so you're saying he was neglectful.
Yes,
and
I
keeping
also
the
have a
daughter.
picture of him drinking while our daughter is in Facebook chat.
All right.
I'm not
And you didn't know he was a drunk.
She was with me.
Ma'am, you didn't know he was a drunk when you started
No, I
dating
did not.
him. You didn't know
No, he
anything
wasn't
about
even
him really
drinking
when
like
you
that.
moved him in.
He was
He
barely.
could have been drinking like a fish every night.
Yes.
And
These are other
child
pictures.
support. And how did you calculate this amount?
It was $200 a month is what I was asking him for 29 months. So
Okay.
it was
Did you ever go to child support services?
Yes, sir.
And what did they assess it to be? Because
they
they
didn't-
are the ones that have to sign off on the amount.
We didn't actually get to go to court. They said that they were behind, but I do have the paperwork saying that I filed.
That you filed, okay, but you need a judgment of the amount because $200 in the eyes of child support services might not be enough. So you have to go to your local child support agency and do as you did, and now you have to wait on the hearing. And you're gonna have some evidence to take there. Either you continue this case after you get this evidence, or you say, Your Honor, I guess you can rip that up. Depending on what that result says. Go ahead.
It was good until I found out that all her male friends were her exes.
Okay. Otherwise, the 400 was no problem.
No, it was still a
you sleep
problem,
with
but
400 people?
it was still a problem. I didn't know those were the guys that was coming over to the house.
Plaintiff Amy Allen insists the defendant is her child's father. But the defendant says he has doubts because Amy confessed to having sex with over 400 men. So he petitioned the court for a paternity test.
And this is your application for child support.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're not sure whether I should rip it up or not.
Your Honor, she
Because if that says he's not the father, I can rip this up, man.
Yes, you can.
All right.
Your Honor, she don't know who her first baby
But
was.
we're going to see whether I
That's
rip
none
it
of
up
the business.
or whether I give it back
This
to
isn't
her.
about
If
my
I give
first
it back
daughter.
to her, you're in trouble. Well, not in trouble. You are
Yeah,
the father
I'm
of a
good.
beautiful
Good,
daughter
Yeah, right. That's,
that looks like you. All
she
right.
lied.
Anthony Peacock, you are the father.
Thank you.
Give it back.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So I'm sure you're going to do the right thing. I can't give you a judgment. Have to wait till the other judge assesses the amount. Then you can come back here and I'll grant the judgment if he doesn't pay. Good luck to you both.
He's going to do
I'll
what he
just
needs
go.
to do
I'll
as
go
a
take care.
father.
Yeah, of course. That was just the whole thing. We just
The
wanted to
only
make
reason
sure.
the only reason he wanted a DNA test is because the women in his family were putting pressure on him. He was doing what he needed to do all the way up until then.